You're the guy who never says no, the one who apologizes for things that aren't even your fault. You hold the door open, offer to help, smile politely, and still people ignore you, disrespect you, or walk all over you. You wonder, why does being good feel so wrong? Why do others seem to get ahead by being bold, assertive, even selfish, while you're stuck playing the role of the nice guy and losing? If you've ever felt invisible, resentful, or like you're quietly screaming behind a polite mask, you're not alone. Jordan Peterson has spent years speaking directly to this pain, and what he says might just flip your worldview upside down. Because the problem isn't that you're too kind, it's that you've abandoned your strength in the name of approval, and it's time to get it back. So who exactly is the nice guy? He's the one who always tries to be agreeable. He avoids conflict like it's a deadly virus. He says what others want to hear, even if it betrays his own truth. He lets his boundaries be crossed to avoid awkwardness. He doesn't speak up. He doesn't take up space. And deep down, he's tired. Peterson says this type of man isn't nice at all. He's resentful because his niceness is a mask, a strategy, a quiet bargain with the world. If I'm good, people will like me. If I'm nice, they won't hurt me. If I stay small, I'll stay safe. But it doesn't work. Instead of being respected, he's ignored. Instead of being admired, he's pitied. Instead of feeling loved, he feels used. The nice guy lives with silent anger, at others for taking advantage of him, and at himself for letting them. He represses his needs, then explodes with guilt, shame, or blame. He may have outbursts that feel out of character, but they're not. They're the parts of him he's been suppressing for years, boiling under the surface, desperate to be seen. Peterson argues this is a failure of development. It's a refusal to become integrated, to become whole. The nice guy has disowned his assertiveness. He fears power, so he pretends it's evil. He confuses passivity with virtue, but in doing so, he becomes harmless. And harmlessness is not goodness. It's weakness. You should be a monster, Peterson says. Then you should learn how to control it. The problem isn't anger, ambition, or dominance. The problem is pretending you don't have them and hoping the world will reward your act. But it doesn't. The world doesn't need more nice guys. It needs good men who are capable of strength, who can say no, stand their ground, and protect what matters. If you don't become that man, you'll spend your life trying to earn love by shrinking yourself. And nothing will ever be enough. Jordan Peterson isn't just a psychologist. He's a mirror, one that reflects what most men avoid facing. In a world obsessed with being nice, polite, and agreeable, Peterson asks a dangerous question. At what cost? He's spoken to millions of men who feel trapped, well-behaved, but quietly miserable. Men who follow the rules, do what they're told, avoid conflict, and still end up lonely, disrespected, and emotionally drained. They've done everything right, and yet life feels wrong. Peterson calls out this trap for what it is, a betrayal of your own potential. Being nice isn't the problem, but when niceness comes from fear, guilt, or a desperate need for validation, it becomes poison. It silences your voice. It weakens your posture. It buries your ambition under a smile that's more about survival than sincerity. And what's worse, no one respects a man who betrays himself. Not your boss, not your partner, not even you. That's why Peterson says, you must integrate your shadow. You must stop being harmless and start being powerful. Because strength doesn't mean cruelty, and kindness without backbone is manipulation in disguise. This video is your wake-up call. We're going to break down exactly what Jordan Peterson says about the nice guy trap, why it forms, how it ruins your life, and the steps to kill it before it kills your potential. Because it's not just a bad habit, it's a deep-rooted psychological trap, a slow erosion of identity that starts early and runs deep. You weren't born this way. You learned it. Maybe it began in childhood. You realized that when you got loud, angry, or demanding, the people around you pulled away. Maybe a parent punished your honesty. A teacher rewarded your compliance. A friend disappeared when you started speaking your truth. So you adjusted. You made yourself more likable, more accommodating, more agreeable. You learned to earn safety by shrinking yourself. You started telling people what they wanted to hear instead of what you truly felt. You offered help not because you always wanted to, but because you were afraid of what would happen if you didn't. You said yes when you meant no. You smiled when you wanted to scream. You learned to survive by disappearing. And at first, it worked. People smiled back. Teachers praised you. Bosses liked you. You avoided confrontation. You fit in. But slowly, without realizing it, you paid for it with your backbone, with your self-respect, with your masculinity. Peterson doesn't mince words about this. If you're only agreeable and you never stand up for yourself, you become a target. You become weak. You're not virtuous. You're just convenient. This is what he calls the harmless man, a man who never rocks the boat, never stands firm, never causes problems. And what's the price of being harmless? You become invisible. You get passed over for promotions, for respect, for leadership. You feel frustrated in your relationships because you're giving everything and getting scraps in return. You lose your voice, your fire, your edge. You watch other men who speak boldly, set limits, walk with presence, and wonder, why does the world respect them, but not me? The answer is simple. They've embraced something you've been avoiding: power, not cruelty, not arrogance, but mature, integrated power, the kind that says no without guilt and yes without desperation, the kind that can protect, challenge, and lead, the kind of power that chooses kindness rather than using it as a shield. Until you confront the trap and crawl out of it, life will feel like a performance, and deep down, you'll always feel like you're faking it. But you don't have to keep living that way. This video isn't just a breakdown of Jordan Peterson's ideas. It's a map, a tool, a turning point. We're going to walk through the roots of the nice guy pattern, how it forms, how it robs you of your masculinity, and the precise steps to destroy it before it kills your potential. You've been playing small to survive. Now it's time to rise, to become whole, grounded, and respected. Not because you're loud, but because you've stopped being afraid of who you really are. How to stop being the nice guy. Step by step. Step 1. Stop saying yes when you mean no. You've trained yourself to be agreeable, to avoid friction at all costs. But every yes that betrays your truth chips away at your self-worth. You're not being nice. You're being dishonest, both to yourself and others. Learning to say no is a form of self-respect. You don't need an excuse. You don't need to justify it. You're allowed to guard your time and energy like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. If you can't say no, your yes has no meaning. Jordan Peterson. Step 2. Recognize that anger is a signal, not a sin. You've likely been told that anger is dangerous, that it makes you unlikable, that it's something you should bury deep. But suppressed anger doesn't disappear. It leaks out through resentment, sarcasm, and self-sabotage. Anger is a message. Something's wrong. A boundary's been crossed. Instead of stuffing it down, ask what it's trying to tell you. Then act, not from rage, but from clarity. Anger isn't a threat when it's mastered. It's power when it's understood. Step 3. Stop apologizing for existing. You don't need to be sorry for having needs. You don't need to shrink your presence to make others comfortable. Every time you apologize just for taking up space, verbally or emotionally, you reinforce a lie that you are a burden. You're not. Confidence begins when you stop explaining who you are and start standing in it. You're not here to make everyone happy. You're here to live fully. Let them adjust. Step 4. Set boundaries and enforce them. A boundary isn't a wall. It's a door with a lock. It lets in what's healthy and keeps out what's not. Most nice guys know when someone's overstepping, but they bite their tongue, hoping things will work themselves out. They won't. People test limits, consciously or not. And when you stay silent, they learn they can keep pushing. Setting a boundary isn't aggressive, it's mature. Enforcing it isn't rude, it's necessary. Speak clearly, follow through. Let discomfort come. It's part of reclaiming your space. Step 5. Drop the Mr. Perfect act, the polished guy. Always agreeable, always composed, never making a scene. That's the mask you wear, but behind it is a man terrified of being seen. Here's the truth. Nobody trusts perfect. It's too polished to be real. Flaws are not failures. They're proof you're alive. Stop rehearsing every word. Stop measuring every move. People will connect with your honesty, not your performance. Confidence doesn't come from being flawless. It comes from showing up, scars and all, and not flinching. Step 6. Get comfortable being disliked. This one will hurt at first, but it's the key to freedom. When you're addicted to approval, you become a slave to it. You mold yourself to every room, every person, every situation, and in the process, lose your identity. But when you stop needing everyone to like you, something powerful happens. You begin to like yourself. Not everyone will get you. Not everyone will support you. That's normal. Say what you need to say. Be who you really are. The right people will stay, and the wrong ones will walk. Let them. Step 7. Do something hard. Every day. You grow by doing what you'd rather avoid. Nice guys avoid discomfort. They stay in their comfort zone, where it's safe, familiar, and suffocating. But comfort is a trap. You become smaller the longer you stay in it. Start with small things. Say what you really mean. Speak up in a meeting. Confront someone respectfully. Take a cold shower. Hit the gym when you don't feel like it. Discipline builds identity. Every hard thing you do rewires you from I can't to I did. If you want to find out who you are, start by doing what you're afraid of. Jordan Peterson. Step 8. Stop waiting to be chosen. Choose yourself. Nice guys wait. Wait to be noticed. Wait to be invited. Wait to be loved. But no one is coming to hand you the life you want. Power begins the moment you stop waiting for permission and give it to yourself. Want respect? Act like someone worth respecting. Want love? Show up with self-worth. Stop asking, do they like me? And start asking, do I even like myself? You're not on the sidelines anymore. Step into the damn game. You belong here. Step 9. Don't abandon kindness, but root it in strength. This isn't a call to become cold, bitter, or aggressive. True strength doesn't cancel kindness. It amplifies it. But it's a different kind of kindness, not the kind that says yes to everything, not the kind that's afraid to speak truth. This kindness comes from choice, not fear, from clarity, not guilt. When you know how to say no, your yes becomes more powerful. When you know how to stand alone, you can give without losing yourself. Be kind, but only from a place of grounded, self-respecting strength. You've been told your whole life to be nice, to be liked, to avoid trouble. But nice hasn't brought you peace. It's brought you silence, exhaustion, loneliness, a life half-lived. Now you know why. Because being nice isn't the goal. Being whole is. Being honest is. Being a man who knows his strength, speaks with truth, and lives with spine. That's the goal. This isn't about flipping a switch. It's about taking one step today, then another tomorrow, then another. Say no where you once would have said yes. Speak honestly where you once smiled politely. Protect your time. Protect your energy. Speak your truth without apology. Let people feel uncomfortable if they must. You're not here to please the world. You're here to become someone you respect. Peterson once said, "If you're not willing to be a fool, you can't become a master." Start the process. Be messy. Be raw. Be real. But for once, be you. Because that's where your power lives. And the world doesn't need another nice guy. It needs you.